Hello and welcome to Old Man Minecraft. I'm an old man and I play Minecraft. We're in my test world. We're going to have a look at the design I'm going to use for the iron farm slash trading hall slash villager breeder. I'm sure there are better tutorials out there. I want to show you the exact design of my iron farm. In the meantime, I'm going to show you a little sneak peek of a build style that I saw on the internet, and I'm hoping to replicate that sort of style within the citadel, maybe as the main sort of central palace or fortress. Are you ready? It's going to be quick. I love it. So we've come at least 100 blocks away from any other villager tech, including beds and workstations. The villagers can get confused and become linked to beds or workstations that aren't close by. Once you've got everything set up, I've found that you can place beds and workstations after they've all linked up, and it doesn't seem to affect it. But I'm not saying that will happen forever, but that's certainly what I've found. Now, first things first in survival, you're going to want to decide where your iron farm's going. Obviously, we've spoken about distance away from tech, but in terms of position near your base, it might be an idea, and this is entirely optional, it might be an idea to do what I do and try and get those positional coordinates, the first and the third there, the X and the Y. If they're divisible by 16, then you are along a chunk border. So let's see, what's 16 times 2 is 32, plus another 16 is 48. So if I can get on 48, here we go. This is 48 right here. So somewhere along here is a chunk border. It runs all the way down there and all the way down there. And then 426. Bear with me. I'm going to get my calculator out. Okay, and we need to be at 432, which I have found is divisible by 16. If you put 16 into a calculator, press plus, and then equals, you will step up in divisions of 16 every time you press equals. Getting a little bit technical there. Again, this is entirely optional. And I'm going to come out 21 blocks that way, including the blocks that I've laid down. So 1, 2, 21. And whilst I'm here, I'm going to find the center block. Let's pick something nice and colorful. There should be 10 blocks and one center block, and then 10 blocks. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then a center block. There should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fantastic. So we're going to replicate this. This is the footprint for actually our iron golem catching pan when it becomes a square. But it's good to have your footprint based around this as well, either for a barrier wall to stop your villagers getting eaten by zombies, or to make sure that the blocks aren't spawnable, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, whilst the iron golem catching pan is going to sit somewhere up here, we still need to have a central section through which the golems are going to drop. So if you follow this line, double check that that's the center, and then this line should line up with that one. Where they intersect, which is right here, is going to be our central block right there. And we can clear out a 3x3. That's going to be the shape of our drop chute. So the next thing to consider will be your collection area. And we are going to be plopping some lava in here. Golems stand 3 high. So we're going to have the lava here, which means their head needs to be here, which means their feet need to stand on this level. We can start putting in the infrastructure, which will kill the golems, and also the infrastructure which will deal with something else that iron farms spawn, which is cats. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just dig down in one corner, clear out a little space for myself. So the collection system is going to work like this. We're going to have a chest, recommend a double chest, and it is something you're going to have to spend a little bit of iron on. You're going to need just one hopper. Now, obviously, after this has been running for about 5 minutes, you'll have all the iron you need. But for the time being, we're going to pop one hopper in there and clear that out so I can maneuver my way out. We're going to put a campfire on here. Now, campfires will, I'm afraid, get rid of your kitties that are generated, but the hopper will grab their string through the campfire, which is excellent. To ensure you can still open the chest, but make sure cats can't come out, you're going to need to have an upside down stair right there. Put one there as well, make it look nice. That's your chest, ready to go. Now, up here, inside the kill chamber, we have now got an issue. What I'm going to do is use water in this block here to wash any cats down here, and any iron ingots that get dropped around here all end up falling down here, and the hopper will pick them up through the campfire. If I put water down here, it's going to put the campfire out. So we need to make sure that this block is occupied right here so water can't butt up against it, but any items can fall past whatever we put in. And there's a little trick I'm sure you know with a button. Now, if we put a button here, that's now taking up this block here. If I place some water here, you can see the water stops because it's not going to come into the spot where the button is, but if I throw my precious sword in there, it's going to go through the campfire and end up in the chest. So we've got a method of washing everything into this corner and to be picked up and placed in a chest. That's all going to happen automatically. Now, if a golem's standing here, it's going to take up 3 blocks, as I say. So 1, 2, his head's going to be here. That means we need to store some lava here. So again, without us doing anything at all, the golem will be disposed of. And I'm going to start that process with some signs. Now, we can put signs on top of each other, like so, which is quite interesting. But if that one gets broken, they all disappear. So we've got to be quite careful. And we'll put some signs all over here. And you're thinking, I know at this point, but surely an iron golem will just stand on top of these signs. Funnily enough, a bit like fence gates, they fall through. Fence gates is another thing that you can use. However, although I do have fire tick turned off, I know you might not have fire tick turned off. And from what I understand, unless they're netherwood, fence gates can burn. That might be just Java. I'm quite a cautious fellow, and I don't want to tell you anything that will waste your time. So here we go. I've filled up that whole space now. All of these are blocked off, just like the button blocked off the water. These signs are going to block off the lava, and we can plop a bucket of lava right there, and you'll see it's going to flow over the signs without going into the water. And we can hear the water. We know it hasn't turned to cobblestone. You can hear the lava, and you can see the campfire smoke coming up through there as well. So there we go. That's our disposal system for iron golems and our collection system. Now, I thoroughly recommend blocking this off. It depends how daring you are and how much adventure you enjoy. Personally, when I'm in survival, I'm a bit cautious. So I'm just going to fill this in for the time being. Remember, you are going to be dealing with precious villagers. I'm going to be using villager eggs because I'm in creative, and why not? But you'll see in the survival world, I am going to have to get some villagers. I haven't done it yet. This is a tutorial stroke me sorting out any last minute issues. So I'm sure there are better tutorials out there, but this one I'm sure will show you exactly what I'm hoping to do with mine. I'm going to have a villager breeder inside, and then when everybody's working at their workstations, I'm going to block them off. And that means we need access to 3 layers, if you like. The customer layer, where we're going to stand outside and deal with buying things. That will come at a later date when everything's all set up. And then we have individual booths inside that customer layer, which is going to go sort of around here. That's also going to serve as our villager breeder, though. So it's going to be a contained room where they're all freely wandering around, breeding up enough villagers to cover the amount of beds I'm going to be putting in the 3rd layer, which is going to be this central ring here, which is going to double as the drop chute as well for the golems. At this point, I recommend coming out another 3 blocks and building up an outer wall all around like this. So as I say, this is the footprint for our pan, but the actual trading hall itself is entirely up to you how you're going to design it, what you're going to do. So as well as at least 10 villagers, Iron Golems are also looking for 20 beds. And they look for the pillow of the leader of the village's bed. Their pillow is, according to the golem, the centre of the village. And it will attempt to spawn, I think, 8 blocks away. Hopefully we're going to capture that in the footprint of this pan, which will be up above here. I'm just showing you down here for dimensions. And those beds get laid in a ring around this collection chute. So I've aligned that stairway down with the centre because it was annoying me. So at this point, yes, villagers. The ideal is, and this is why I blocked this off, is to have a couple of villagers that you transport here by boat. And then I recommend that you have a bunch of carrots that you've already grown and that you're going to bring with you. And then you're going to give half a bunch of carrots to each of these dudes. Now, these guys aren't actually going to produce any baby villagers until they've detected beds. They haven't even got beds of their own at the moment. So what we're going to do is we are going to get them, first of all, shift these guys out of this area if we can. And a good way to lure villagers, if you're manipulating them across a landscape, is to plop down a workstation. And they should, if they've detected a bed, I believe. Yeah, here you go. So he's now going to walk towards this. And if I pop down a bed for him, he's going to walk towards this. He's going to make his way out here, find his own way. That's a good way to get these guys manipulated. So this separating wall here is where the beds are going to go. I am going to break their beds for now and let them reattach to a bed. So I've got a bit of a technique with these beds. I've found that if you lay them all out in a row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the pillow of this bed allows golems to spawn over here. So the trick is to try and keep the pillows as close to this center as possible. And you can actually lay beds on top of each other, or to put it more accurately, you can place beds underneath where a bed is already if you destroy the block under the bed. Let me show you. I'm going to put down a bed here. Somebody's going to link to it. And I can also now place a bed under here. And the pillows are as close as I can possibly get. Now, I can't place a bed down and then another bed on top of it. It's just going to think I'm going to sleep in it. If I crouch, nothing happens. So you have to place a block down first for the upper bed. Now they're going to detect a new bed, which means space for a third villager. So if they can see each other and if the conditions are right, they are now going to start breeding and making baby villagers. So we've got to have a double wall, then where the villager's going to stand, then their workstation, which means I want them inside this area here. You can push them about as well. They don't seem to mind too much, but we'll get these guys in by luring them in. So I'm going to get these beds down, which means that every time a bed gets placed, here we go, look. There we go, got a baby villager. So what you need to do now is to place workstations and ensure that they can actually get to them. So if I pop one down here, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. They do need to be working though. So we can come in and find the center block here. We know there's going to be one there. They're making some more babies, look. And hopefully, yeah, so he's now going to link to that workstation. They're detecting the beds. They're detecting there's more beds than villagers. So they're making more babies. So you can see that they're walking right up to their workstations. And I'm going to be able to build between them, if they budge them out of the way a little bit, booths, which I can then block off at the back. But I'm not going to do that until they've had all the babies that I want them to have. But that's why you need access to all 3 rings. And you need access to in here, you need access to in here, and you need access to in here. So that's what we're looking like so far. Now I think it's time for the collection pan. And I'm actually going to come up 1 more block from here. And our collection pan is going to be on this level right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the collection pan only comes halfway across where we will be standing to purchase goods. However, they can have 2 block high living space. That's absolutely no problem. However, we want to have a 2.5 block high space. Just gives a little bit of extra breathing space up the top. So our inside is going to look like this. That's also, because there's water up here, going to prevent lots of droplets coming down. When finished, it should look something like this. Now we can't actually block these guys off until they're working. So I do want to get the iron farm up and running, producing golems. Now you're going to still need access to this central section, and I recommend fence gates for that. And don't forget to just line the underside of the pan with slabs to stop the water flowing, or dripping I should say. So this is the inner passageway, if you like. I'm going to make sure there's 10 other villagers in here, and we can get going on their workstation placement. So with this method, you need to find the center, pop a block in there, and then you should see a shepherd has been attracted to it. Now, it might take a little while for them to sort themselves out, but every time you place a block, a holding block, you should get a shepherd attracted to it, and there should be enough room behind them to actually get themselves over there. You might need a bit of jiggling about. I nearly forgot. First of all, we need to make sure our water is up and running. So hopefully no golems will spawn outside of this. So we can make sure that we've got a nice rim going all the way around. And you can use something like fence posts, I believe, or half slabs, and that should also prevent the iron golem spawning. So let's use them. I have heard that bushes, or I've found that bushes are actually the only thing that will stop them spawning, but apparently they fixed it. So we'll try slabs here and we'll see if we get any on top. I'm not going to build up any walls or anything outside. This is literally just the bare bones of what you need. Whatever goes outside is really dependent on what your base looks like. In my survival world, I'm going to be building a kind of a fortress, sort of desert keep around this area. So I recommend this is a fail-safe way of making sure that you lay your water correctly here. Excuse me. Thank you. Put a little L shape in every corner. Excuse me. Place your water on each of the center blocks of the L shape. So now you literally just need to add water all along here, and you can't possibly go wrong. And there we go. They're all getting nicely tucked into bed. I'm going to move this now. Sorry, kittens. Because at any moment, we might get an iron golem spawning. Especially because I'm going to carry on placing these loom blocks down. Now I can see Thundercloud. Somebody can't link to his, so he's not actually able to access it. We'll get all of these down, clear some villagers out of the way. We'll see how we go. If we get a clear corridor, we can actually start. Oh, there we go. Do you hear that? That is the sound of an iron golem. If you don't want these chaps to escape, you can pop a trapdoor here and that gap is now too small for them to get through. So I can remove this and see if he loses his job. Yes, he did. So that's definitely his workstation, and same for him. Okay, so you, with these checks, you can sort of go around and make sure that these guys are linked up properly. Let's do a random check. Let's do this chap. Yeah, definitely. Okay, wonderful. So it looks like they're all linking up quite nicely to their workstations. Oh, somebody wants to go there. Ah, him. Lovely. Okay. And I think he's here. And it looks like he's there. And he's there. I'm going to put trapdoors down for everybody, because when you come to change these blocks, these are just placeholder blocks. When you come to change these, this is going to go away for whatever reason. I use a piston to push it out and pull it back in again, makes them change their trades, but you don't want them to walk out in the meantime. This will stop them. Yep, that's him. Yep, that's him. And I'm always making sure they link up again before I destroy another one. That's him. And that's him. So now we have 20 villagers and 20 beds. I'm going to kill all these cats. Oh, I forgot to mention, you need to take these blocks out as well after you've placed the water. I think this is one of the better designs that I've used. It's very compact. Why wouldn't you want a trading hall? Yes, it takes a bit of finagling with the villagers. There might be better, easier ways to link up your breeder with your pods and make sure that they're all going in nice and uniformly. But for a low budget effort, it produces a lot of iron, and it produces a lot of books and armor and whatever else you want to be trading with. As I say, this is just the bare bones. Haven't built anything around here. These are the blocks that you need. So this is the design I will be implementing in the Old Man Minecraft 1.18 Caves and Cliffs Update Survival series. I hope you'll be impressed with the rates. They're jolly good. It will spawn 2 golems at the same time because we have 20 villagers instead of 10. As I say, I've left the bare bones of this. The building is entirely up to you, but this is the mechanics of what we are using. Shall we have a little look before we go at how much iron we've gathered in the last 20 minutes or so? Oh, lovely. 2 stacks. Load of string, load of poppies. And that just about wraps things up for this episode of Old Man Minecraft. Very exciting. The iron farm, eh? How about that? And also, a sneak peek at my build style for the survival guide world. Now, for now, if I can land this right. Lovely. Bit dangerous. For now, that's going to be it for this episode of Old Man Minecraft. I hope you enjoyed that. It was a bit technical, but there you go. That's the bare bones of the iron farm without anything around it. You need to be so careful that those blocks all around the pan aren't spawnable. Half slabs, bushes, height, all of those things will prevent iron golems from spawning. So have a think and plan carefully. Do open up a test world. They're very, very useful for sorting out the mechanics, making sure things are right just before you commit to a final build. And iron golems can be very dangerous to deal with. So remember, always look both ways when you cross the road, and don't chew gum, it's disgusting. I'll see you next time on Old Man Minecraft.